Hello, my name is Mark Topping. I represented Ireland 54 times between 1994 and 2007. And for the last 10 years, I've been a qualified badminton coach, helping a lot of club players in Irish badminton. Today's session, we're going to concentrate on the low backhand serve. Right, the first thing we're going to discuss is the rules of serving in badminton. One of the main rules is that you have to hit the shuttle in an upward direction. A second rule that is very important is that your 2 feet must maintain contact with the ground throughout the process of serving. You are not allowed to drag your foot or lift your foot up while you are in the process of serving. A third rule that is very important is that the shuttle must be struck below the waist. The waist in badminton is defined as the last rib on your rib cage, which is at the lowest point of the last rib is at the side of your body. Roughly equivalent to where your belly button is. So put an imaginary line around your belly button and the shuttle must be struck below that line. A fourth rule that is important in the low backhand serve is that the racket head should be discernibly below the hand or grip of your racket. A fifth rule is that you should not be standing on any of the lines when you're serving. A sixth rule is that you serve diagonally opposite to the receiver. So let's go through the 12 points or checklist that will help you with your serve. The first one is take your time. I see many players rushing, a lot of beginners, intermediate club players, even very experienced club players I've often seen rushing their serve, leading to unnecessary errors. And so in badminton, you are allowed between 4, 5, 6 seconds to prepare for yourselves, for your serve. So do take your time. Number 2 on the checklist is the grip. I would recommend that you use a thumb backhand grip quite high up on the racket. Okay, number 3 on the checklist is I would recommend that you turn your racket to 7 o'clock from my perspective. From the receiver's perspective, they see 5 o'clock. Number 4 on the checklist, I would always recommend that you have your elbow joint level or just slightly below your shoulder joint. Point number 5 on the checklist is about how do we hold the shuttle. We hold the shuttle in a pinching action between a thumb and first finger, forefinger, at the very end of a feather, with the other 3 fingers away, spread away from the shuttle. The reason for this is we do not want anything to come between our racket and the shuttle. Point number 6 on the checklist. Point the shuttle directly at the center of the strings. This is where there is a really good trampoline spot or sweet spot on the rackets. This is the best place to hit the shuttle. So we start by pointing the shuttle right in the middle of the strings. Okay, point number 7 on the checklist is aim to hit the very pole or end of the shuttle. Point number 8 on the checklist, make sure that the racket head is as far from your stomach as you feel comfortable. A common mistake I see is that the racket head is too close to the player's stomach, and therefore there is no ability to move the racket back and hit the shuttle. So reach out, stretch out as far as you feel comfortable, and this allows space for the racket head to go back towards your stomach in order to hit the shuttle. Okay, point number 9 is a personal view point because there are different ways of doing this. But when I am serving a shuttle, I look at the shuttle and I concentrate and watch the shuttle as I hit it. This means the advantage of this method is that I'm not looking at my opponent. And as you move up levels, there are opponents who are close to the service line, waving their rackets around, and you're avoiding watching your opponent's body language. All you are doing is concentrating on hitting a high quality badminton serve. Okay, point number 10 on the checklist is the wrist. Key way to move the racket forward. So we get into a position like this with our grip, holding the shuttle, and what we do to make the racket go back, we bend the wrist, and as you can see the racket comes back towards the stomach, and then we use the thumb and straighten the wrist to strike through the shuttle, like so. Okay, checklist number 11 on the low backhand serve is all about when do you release the shuttle from your left hand. And what I would recommend is that you release it as late as possible. So draw back the racket slowly by bending your wrist, and as the racket is starting to move forward, you would release the shuttle. Okay, point number 12 on the checklist is all about getting ready for the third shot. So you've gone through the first 11 points, you've just hit a very good serve. It is very important to do a small split step or preparation step and get yourself ready for the opponent's reply to your serve. So in conclusion, I'm hoping that those tips will help you get a much more consistent, repeatable serve, and keep enjoying badminton and check back in again.